What is up, people? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. I know some of you might be partying. It's thingy. Well, it's not New Year's Eve because New Year's Eve is tomorrow, but it's the first festive season and all of that. I'm sure you guys are having fun and stay safe out there. But yeah, guys, welcome to another video. And in this video, I want to be I'm going to be diving in and just talking about the games that are going to be playing this weekend. Starting today, actually, I will start by previewing Liverpool's game against Leicester today, and then obviously going to have fixtures tomorrow, New Year's Eve. I'm not sure if we do have fixtures on New Year's. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna be previewing those fixtures. But before I go on, guys, please continue to subscribe to the channel, and please continue to please continue to push that thumbs up button and and liking the videos. I'd really appreciate if you guys did that, and also please push that notification bell so that you can get notified when I post a new video. And yeah, guys, without wasting any time, I'll get right into it. I'll get straight into it. Obviously, Liverpool are playing today against Leicester, Leicester City. Obviously, Leicester City have been really poor. Um, if we look at the thingy here, at the fixture here, obviously it's at Anfield again. Another thing that's going to make it really difficult for Leicester because Liverpool, are a formidable outfit at Anfield. And even though Liverpool have actually lost at Anfield this year, this season, they lost to they did lose though to someone. I don't remember who it was, but they did lose to someone at Anfield this season. I don't remember, guys, but Liverpool did lose at Anfield this year, which is a rare thing because they barely they don't. Liverpool just don't lose at Anfield. I think before they lost there this season, the last time they lost there was in 2016 against Crystal Palace, I think. Well, okay, actually, let me be more clear with that. The last time they lost there was back in 2020, but that's when it was the COVID pandemic and there were no fans in their stadium. So I think it was 2021 actually. In the season 2020-21, yes, it wasn't 2021 in the season 2020-21. So that's the last time they lost there, but there were no fans. The last time they lost at Anfield when there was a full crowd was back in 2016, I think, against Crystal Palace. So it just tells you how formidable an outfit they are whenever they play at Anfield. So I just think it's an uphill an uphill. It's going to be an uphill battle for Leicester to try and get something out of the game. Also, considering the fact that they've been really shocking so far this season. James Maddison is currently out with an injury, who arguably has been their best player so far this season. So I think it's really going to be a difficult game for Leicester. If you look at the stats here, you see, guys, I just want to make this more interesting, not just giving like my thoughts on the game. I'll actually just look at the stats a bit, just to make it more interesting. So that's why I'm looking down here. I'm looking at the laptop, so I'm gonna try and find some stats in the in this, well, about this fixture. Um, so yeah, just bear with me, guys. I know that Leicester obviously have been shocking so far this season because they are currently in the relegation zone, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and obviously Brendan Rodgers is under huge pressure. Brendan Rodgers obviously has done really well at Leicester because if you think about it, like 2 seasons ago, yeah, 2 seasons ago, or well, basically the last 2 seasons before last, they were in the hunt for top four, and a club of Leicester's size should never really be in the hunt for top four, simply because they don't have the spending power that the other powerhouses in the Premier League have. Yet Brendan Rodgers still was able to basically push for top four. Yes, he didn't actually make it into the Champions League, but finishing fifth for a club of Leicester's size, like, to be disappointed in terms of you not being in the Champions League, for a Leicester fan, for a Leicester supporter, for Leicester Football Club, that's a huge achievement. Because like when the season starts, they would never give themselves a chance that they're gonna be within a shout of top four. So to actually be disappointed that you haven't made it because you didn't make it on the last day of the season. That's huge credit to what Brendan Rodgers was able to do at Leicester. Also, they did win the FA Cup. Again, that's very difficult to do nowadays because of the attention to detail that the big clubs put in winning the FA Cup. So winning the FA Cup is not like a walk in the park for a club of Leicester's size in terms of their spending power in the transfer market, because clubs like Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, they do pay attention to winning the FA Cup. They don't just disregard that competition and say, well, we're just going to focus on winning the league. They do try and focus on that competition, and try to win that competition. So for Leicester to actually do well and win the FA Cup, that's also another huge achievement that Brendan Rodgers was able to was able to well, that's another big achievement that Brendan Rodgers was able to do at Leicester City. So obviously Liverpool are coming off a win against is coming off a win against who did they play? Aston Villa. I did actually talk about their result against Aston Villa in my previous video, so please do check that out. And basically, good victory for Liverpool. Clinical performance, not a great performance in terms of they dominated Aston Villa, because there were times when Aston Villa dominated, but clinical performance, coming back from the World Cup, win, move on. So Liverpool are going to be full of confidence. They're going to play at Anfield, and basically they're going to play Leicester City, who are one of the worst sides in the division so far this season. Now, as some stats here, basically in the last 18 games that that Liverpool have played Leicester in, so the last 18 head-to-head matches, Liverpool have won 11 times, they've lost 5 times, and they've drawn 2 times. So obviously Liverpool, what's happening there? What's happening there? I sincerely apologize for that, guys. My ring light is tripping here. Ah, my word. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's better. I'm sorry, guys, for that. It's my ring light. Basically, I was saying, in the last 18 games that Leicester have played Liverpool, Liverpool have a clear advantage in that they've won 11 times, they've drawn 2 times, and they've lost 5 times, only 5 times. And I apologize for that noise, guys. It's my niece. She is a bit fussy. And then basically, it's saying here for Liverpool this season, Mo Salah and Firmino have both scored 7 league goals. So those are the top scorers for Liverpool. I'm not sure whether Firmino is going to be available for this game, because he was not available for the Aston Villa game. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure Cody Gakpo is going to be joining. No, actually, the transfer window is not open, so can he join them? Nah, I'm not sure about that. I don't think Cody Gakpo is going to be joining, because even though the signing has already been made, the transfer window hasn't opened, so I don't think he is allowed to join them. I don't know about that, guys. You can help me out if you have more detail on the comment section down below. And then obviously saying here Andy Robertson this season has contributed 5 assists in the league. I did offer some congratulations from for Andy Robertson yesterday in my video, because he is currently the defender with the most assists in the Premier League in Premier League history. I think with 46. He got that by getting an assist against Aston Villa. So massive congratulations for him. And as I said, it's going to be a very difficult game for Leicester, because they don't have their top player or their best player so far this season, which is James Maddison, because he has contributed to 11 league goals this season, and he's not going to be playing because he's injured. So again, another thing that is going to make the game very difficult for Leicester. And then obviously that's pretty much what I have there in terms of stats, guys. I think, as I said, the players that are not going to be available, I think Liverpool, Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota have are long-term absentees with injury. I think for Leicester, James Maddison is not going to be playing because he's injured. And apart from that, I'm not quite sure who else is going to play. I'm not really sure. But in terms of my prediction, I predict that Liverpool are going to win. I think Liverpool are going to win 2-0. I think Leicester are not good enough. I think it's going to be a 2-0 Liverpool win. And then, guys, going on to the next game, I'll be talking about Man City. We're going to be playing Everton tomorrow. 5 o'clock kickoff here in South Africa. The o'clock kickoff in the UK. So yeah, guys. Okay, let me Everton stats. Yeah, stats. Guys, another interesting thing that I actually didn't know. I noticed, so because I follow like the Premier League and all that stuff. I used to pay attention. Well, not used to, but like you look at the games and you look at the time, and obviously like in your head you're gonna see, okay, well it's 12 p.m. in the UK kickoff. Okay, it's gonna be this time here in South Africa. So I noticed something that I actually didn't know. I don't know if you guys know this, but basically when it's the winter in the UK, the clock goes back. So like the time goes back. And what I mean by saying it goes back, so like during the summer, I don't know what this thing is called. I think it's like a topic in geography or whatever. But basically during the summer in the UK, they only 1 hour behind us. So when it's 1 p.m. in the UK, it's 2 p.m. here. And then, oh my days. Fuck no. Flip. I'm sorry guys for that, man. I actually, oh my word. No, man. Guys, I was making this video, so now I just realized my headphones were on. Now they're off. I don't know when they went off, but I think I actually started the video with the headphones on and my phone was connected. So I don't know if I was waffling and it didn't record. Well, it was recording, but there's no sound because I don't have my headphones on. Fuck. Okay, it's cool, guys. I'll just I'll check it at the end, and if it did that, I'll just talk about Liverpool again. I'll just go on to the Man City thing. Back to what I was saying. In that the time in the UK, when it's the summer there, they're only 1 hour behind us. When it's winter, they're 2 hours behind us because there the clock goes back during the winter. Because like obviously during winter, it's like it gets dark early, and it gets like the sunrise happens a lot like later than it usually does. So like instead of sunrise being at 6, maybe it's gonna be at 8, or I'm not sure about the time in terms of sunrise, but basically I was actually watching this other game, and here it was I think 6 o'clock. So there it was 4, and it was already dark outside. So that's actually an interesting thing in that like the clock changes depending on the season. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I thought I should just put that out there. But basically, going back to the Man City Everton game. Obviously, we're going to be massive favorites. We are massive favorites for this game because I mean we pretty much win every time we play Everton. Not being arrogant, but it is what it is. And obviously, we are currently in a title race with Arsenal. We are 5 points behind Arsenal in the title race. So we need to ramp up the wins. We need to win every game we play to make sure that we pile on the pressure on Arsenal. We do not give them any breathing space. And then obviously, Erling Haaland has already scored 20 goals so far this season. Massive congrats to him. He's the fastest player to score 20 goals in a league a season with 14 games. The next best is 21, which is pretty phenomenal. And obviously, in terms of injuries, I don't think we have any injuries. We have Ruben Diaz has a hamstring injury. But obviously we do have some, like we have 4 centre backs without Ruben Diaz, with Akanji, Stones, Ake, and Laporte. So that we're pretty good in that department, and we're playing Everton. So I mean, they don't offer much of a threat going forward. Julian Alvarez is also not going to be available for this game because obviously he was with the Argentina squad that won the World Cup, so he gets an extended break. He is going to be back after this game though against Everton. He's going to back to training. That's what Pep said in his press conference today. So obviously looking forward to having him back. And obviously for Everton, Connor Cody is going to be returning for this game. He did not play in Everton's last game because he was like Everton was playing his parent club Wolves. It's part of the Premier League rules or the English Football League rules that you cannot play your parent club when you are out on loan. So that's why Connor Cody didn't play in Everton's last game. So he is going to be back for this game. And then they're saying here, this is Yahoo Sport, by the way. That's why I'm getting the stats so that I'm not accused of plagiarism or something. This is Yahoo Sport. And they're saying Dominic Calvert-Lewin could be fit. Obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin pretty much is injured all the time. They're saying he could be fit for this game. I don't know whether he will be, but Frank Lampard says he could be. So, I don't know. Obviously, and then, guys, no, man. So yeah, they're saying like with the head-to-heads. Now they're telling me head-to-heads in terms of history here, which I mean I don't think that'd be interesting. That like we've won 78 games against Everton, they've won 68 against us, we've drawn 47. But that's not really important now because that goes back into the 1900s and all of that. But basically, we are unbeaten in the last 11 meetings between us and Everton. So again, what I was saying in that we pretty much win all the time when we play Everton, and it's going to be the same story tomorrow in that they will try and frustrate us and try and prevent us from having spaces. They're not really going to try and and dominate the ball against us because obviously we're going to batter them if they try and do that. So that's pretty much yeah, guys. I think we are gonna win against Everton. Okay, let me do this. I'm looking at another website with stats now because I want maybe a bit more. Okay. So obviously, if you look at the current form, in our last 5 games, we have wait, whoa, what's happening here? Okay, I don't understand this. Okay, I'm sorry for that, guys. I was just looking at something here, but I don't understand how it's been put out here. So nah, um, yeah, guys. So obviously, I mean, Erling Haaland really likes scoring at home. He's scored most of his goals at home this season. So he's obviously going to be looking to add to his tally against Everton. And okay, let's check Sky Sports. Wait, when was this? Ah, man, this was from a long time ago. But yeah, guys, I think we are gonna win this game. I mean, there's not much more I can say really about the game. Everton are relegation candidates. Frank Lampard is under pressure, and yeah, we are title challengers. So I mean, I don't see any other result. I think we're gonna win 4-0. And then going on to the other games, guys. Let's just check the other games. Man United are going to be playing Wolves tomorrow. They're going to play Wolves in the early kickoff, 2:30 here in South Africa, 12:30 in the UK. So it's the lunchtime kickoff between Man United and Wolves. Man United are going to be traveling to Molineux. So they are going to be playing Wolves at their stadium. So I mean, Wolves were in previous seasons a very tough opponent to play because they used to be robust, they used to defend well, and you really couldn't score against them. It was very difficult to score against Wolves because they were just always robust and they wouldn't give you any freebies. Obviously, this season they have been the opposite of that in that they've been conceding loads of goals and they've been finding it very difficult to score. Now, they've never been prolific goal scorers ever since they've come back to the Premier League, but what has helped them is the fact that they have been able to keep clean sheets. So that's why they were never really prime candidates for relegation because they were able to defend and they were able to keep clean sheets. Now this season has been a different story, and that's why they are languishing in the bottom half of the table. Obviously, they have a new coach now, Julian Lopetegui, who was he was previously a coach for Sevilla. Before he got sacked at Sevilla because Sevilla were having a bad run of form. So he's a decent coach. He's coached Spain before, and yeah, he's a decent coach. And he's coached Real Madrid before as well, even though he didn't really do too well at Real Madrid, and eventually got sacked early into his tenure. I think he actually used to play for Real Madrid. One of the things that made him get that Real Madrid job. Obviously, he got it on merit because he had done well in previous clubs, but he's also a former Real Madrid player. So yeah, guys, it's gonna be Julian Lopetegui's first home game, and obviously they won against Everton, and they won late against Everton. Poor goal to concede from Everton's point of view, in the fact that they conceded in the dying moment of the game, but great victory for Julian Lopetegui in his first game playing away at Everton at Goodison Park. Very difficult place to play in because or to play at, because the stadium is always bouncing at Goodison Park, and as long as the players put in the effort, the crowd always gets behind the players. So good victory for Julian Lopetegui. Obviously, Man United have been going well so far this season. They started the season off on a bad note, but they have picked it up since, and they've really been playing well. Casemiro's really been playing well in that midfield. He's been the anchor in that midfield, and he's the player that Man United have been crying out for years. Because Man United for years have been playing Scott McTominay and Fred as their holding midfielders, and obviously Scott McTominay and Fred are not good enough, and so their midfield hasn't been good enough for a number of years because they haven't had a world-class defensive midfielder, which that they now do have in Casemiro. And you can see the improvement in the performance in that midfield because Casemiro is playing in that midfield. So Man United are really going well at this moment. Lisandro Martinez has returned to training as well. Following obviously Argentina's victory in the World Cup, he's back in training. I don't know if he's going to be playing in the game tomorrow, but he has returned in training. And then Harry Maguire is also available. Obviously, I don't think Harry Maguire is going to play because I don't think Ten Hag fancies him, to be honest. And then yeah, I mean, this Yahoo thing is not good enough, man. It's not giving me the good stats. I'm just looking for stats here, guys, and just to talk more about this. Um, okay. No, man. Hmm. FC tables. Okay, let's check fctables.com. Okay. So yeah, obviously Man United currently are fifth in the Premier League with 29 points. They're only 1 point behind Tottenham, even though Tottenham have played a game more than them. Again, what I was saying in that they have picked up their results, and they have been playing well, to be fair to them, and Eric Ten Hag has been doing a decent job. And then obviously the last what? No, man. Uh, okay. Bro, this is too complicated, man. Just give me stats, bro. Like, don't. No, man. Obviously, Rashford is also playing well at this moment in time, guys. I'm sorry for pausing there for quite a while. I'm just looking for the stats here, and I just haven't found a website that is reliable in terms of giving me what I want. But Rashford has also been good for Man United so far this season. I did mention in my video yesterday, I was actually happy for Rashford. I know my team is rivals with Man United, and I don't really like Man United, if I'm being honest. I think their fans can be a bit arrogant, and that's why I don't like them. But I do like Rashford in terms of the type of person he is, what he does in the community, trying to feed the poor and all of that stuff. I think it comes from a good place, and I'm happy that he's playing. He's now playing well again, and it looks like he has his confidence back at this moment in time. And yeah, guys.
Um, and then okay. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. See, like interesting stuff, man. So key stats here. So I found this other website called hardtackle.com. So they're saying here Wolves won their last Premier League meeting against with Manchester United 1-0 at Old Trafford in January. So this January, eh? And then the last time Wolves won two consecutive games against Man United was between September 1979 and August 1980, three in a row. So obviously, highly unlikely that Wolves are going to win two games in a row against Man United, because the last time they did that was back in 1979, and between 1979 and 1980. And then, excuse me, guys, Wolves have lost just one of their last nine league games played on New Year's Eve. They've won four and they've drawn four. Um, Only lost one, obviously. So again, this is going to be an interesting game to Man United and Wolves. Also, the fact that Wolves are going to be have a new manager bounce. Yeah, and then they're saying here Man United have not lost their final league game in any of the last 10 calendar years. So in the last 10 years, Man United have not lost their last league game since a 3-2 defeat to Blackburn in 2011. So again, another interesting stat here. And then okay, and then they're saying 40% of Joao Moutinho's Premier League goals for Wolves have come against Man United, 2 out of 5. So obviously, Joao Moutinho really likes playing thingy, really likes playing Man United. And yeah, guys, I will leave it there with regards to this game. I predicted Man United win. I think Man United have been good so far this season. I predict that they're going to win 2-1 because they're playing away. I think Wolves is. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I think Man United are going to prevail and they're going to win 2-1. And then the other game is Chelsea were against who? Oh, Arsenal against Brighton. Is the other game. At 7:30. Uh, Here in South Africa, 5:30 UK time. So Arsenal fans have to get used to this because we're in a title race with them. Tomorrow we playing first, so before them. So by the time Arsenal play, we could be 2 points off them. Because if we win, then that 5 point gap is going to be cut down to two. So then they have to respond by winning if they want to make it back to five. So you see that those mind games, they start coming into play when you're in a title race with someone. So it's going to be interesting to see that game. Obviously, Arsenal are going to be traveling to Brighton. They're going to be playing at the Amex Stadium at Brighton. Now, Brighton is not an easy team to play against, obviously, because they are a team that they play possession based football. They like dominating the ball. They're not one of those teams that are just going to sit off because they're playing a top team. They like taking the game to a top team. So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting game between Arsenal and Brighton. Okay, let me look at some head to heads here. Obviously, Arsenal have been brilliant so far this season. Currently top of the league, 5 points clear of Manchester City after 15 games played. Martinelli has been good. Odegaard has been good. Xhaka has been good. Jesus obviously has been good for them, but he's injured at the moment. Nketiah had a good performance against West Ham last time out. So yeah, man, Saka has been brilliant as well. So Arsenal have been really good this season, playing really well. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting game between Arsenal and Brighton because Brighton are just one of those teams that they don't like. They always relish the opportunity of playing against the top teams. They're not just gonna sit back and accept defeat because they are playing a team that is better than them in terms of the quality. They will want to take the game to the opposition. And yeah, so it's really like if you look at the head-to-heads here, in the last 20 games that Brighton have played Arsenal, they've won seven games. Arsenal have won nine, and there's been four draws. So again, another proof that Brighton, they don't like they're no mugs. They're not just gonna accept defeat because they're playing against Arsenal. they're gonna want to take the game to Arsenal and try and get a result against Arsenal. So interesting game between the two. Last game they played here was in the League Cup, and Brighton won 3-1 against Arsenal in the League Cup. This was on the 9th of November 2022. So just before we went to the World Cup, Brighton played Arsenal, and they won 3-1. Again, the last two games here, actually, Brighton have won the last two games against Arsenal because they won their last game in the Premier League 2-1. This was on the 9th of April. So again, what I was saying in that Brighton are no mugs. They're not just going to accept the fact that they're playing Arsenal and they're going to accept defeat. They're not going to do that. They're not one of those teams that are just going to sit back and try and soak up pressure and wait to be picked apart by the better team and just accept defeat like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. Smith Rowe is fit again. Also, Tomiyasu is fit again for Arsenal. And yeah, okay, not much stats here in this website. Let's check this one, CBS Sports. Okay. Hey, this thing is giving me betting odds here or something. I'm not a betting man. I don't bet. The reason why I don't bet is because football is so unpredictable. So it's just like I don't bet. I know like some people bet, but I don't. I'm not a fan, to be honest, because like you might think you see, for example, for Man City, the game against Brentford, which we lost, I would have predicted that we were going to win, and then we lost. So it's just like just one of those things. But I'm predicting, guys, that Arsenal are probably going to win. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for them. Obviously, I like it would be better for City if they lost, and we are only 2 points off them if we win. But I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna just they're gonna win 2-1. Because I don't think it's gonna be an easy game for them. Because Brighton are not an easy opponent to play against. But I do think that they're just gonna edge the game and they're gonna win 2-1. Excuse me, guys. Again, that is my niece crying, so I apologize if you hear that noise. Okay. Oh, no, man. Okay, I'm not seeing any stats here, guys, about this game that are decent. Okay, I will move on to the next fixture because I don't see anything here that is interesting. Obviously, Arsenal's last game was against West Ham, and it was a good response from them after they went behind in the game because they were losing 1-0 to West Ham, and then it was a good response from them coming back and winning the game 3-1. And Brighton obviously won their last fixture against who did they play against again? Or they played against Southampton and they won 3-1, that being Brighton. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game, really interesting game. I don't think it's gonna be an easy game for Arsenal, but I think they're just gonna edge the result. I think they're gonna win 2-1. And then okay, and then looking on to the other games, obviously Chelsea are going to be playing Nottingham Forest. Again, Nottingham Forest, prime candidates for relegation this season. Obviously they've just been promoted to the Premier League. So yeah, again, Chelsea this season have not they've not been world beaters in terms of like their performances on the pitch. Their performances haven't been good enough, really, and that's why they currently sit seventh, I think, on the table. Currently 6 points off the top four, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're 6 points off the top four. They have 24 points from 15 games. And they like in their last 5 games, they've won one, they've lost three, and they've drawn one. So again, not a good stat for them. That one, that in their last 5 games in the Premier League, lost three, drawn one, won one. So not great from them. But again, they're going to be playing Nottingham Forest, who realistically should not cause Chelsea any problems. But again, Nottingham Forest did win against Liverpool this season. But I don't think it's going to be a problem for Chelsea, really, because also for the fact that they're playing at home. Obviously, bad news for Chelsea in their last game, in that um, Reece James got injured again, and he's going to be out for a month. And obviously, Reece James is Chelsea's best player whenever he plays, because he just gives them something different. He offers them something different whenever he plays. He offers them that natural width on that right hand side, and he comes up with goals. He comes up with assists. So he's a really important player for Chelsea, and they're gonna miss him. And actually, Reece James is one of my favorite players. I always say, if I could get a player from Chelsea's team, it would be Reece James. Because I think, as much as I like Walker and Radback, I think Reece James like is a good defender, but also is a brilliant attacker going forward. It just gives you more than what Walker gives you going forward, and that's why I'll take him at City. So a massive miss for Chelsea. Um, and then obviously uh, um, yeah. So this thing is saying here that this is the first time Nottingham Forest. Wait, where? Where is this game being played? Oh, so forgive me, guys. This game is going to be played at Nottingham Forest, not at Chelsea. So it's at Nottingham Forest, and this is on New Year's on the 1st of January, Sunday. So yeah, tough game for Chelsea, because the crowd is always bouncing at Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest is a club with rich history. They have won, I think, the Champions League 2 times in their history. So their crowd, when the crowd gets going, it's a tough place to play at. And if you give their team a sniff, and you are not playing well for Spurs, the crowd is going to come into the game, and they're going to back the team. It's just going to make things that much more difficult for you. So I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Chelsea, even though I think they will eventually prevail, because I just think they have a better team, obviously. So yeah, I think it's not going to be easy for Chelsea. Also, but because of the fact that Reece James is not playing, because Reece James is injured again. So, but I think Chelsea are going to have enough to beat Nottingham Forest. Um, so yeah, so you see, yeah, like wait, oh man. I was just looking at a few websites, guys, to see if I can find some interesting stats. But I am not finding anything of substance so far. Um, nah, I'm not finding anything here. Yeah, guys, I think I'm predicting a Chelsea win. I think Chelsea are gonna win 2-1. I don't want to say 1-0, because I don't think Chelsea defensively this season have been good enough to be able to ground out 1-0 results. So I'm gonna go for a 2-1 narrow Chelsea win. I don't think it's gonna be easy for them, as I've said, because they're playing at Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest at that stadium is bouncy whenever Nottingham Forest play there. Because it's a club filled with rich history. So I don't think it's going to be easy for Chelsea, but I think they are gonna prevail, and they're gonna win 2-1. And then the last game, guys, I'm gonna look at is between Tottenham and Aston Villa, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on New Year's Day as well, on Sunday. Now again, Tottenham have been one of the teams that this season, like, I've been disappointed with their performances. I know their position in the table would say otherwise, because they are currently in the top four with 30 points from 16 games. And there's only been 3 teams that have been better than them this season, with Arsenal, City, and Newcastle. But when you look at the performances that they put out onto the pitch, they haven't been good enough. And they have this habit of going behind before they start playing. So they have this bad habit where the opposition needs to score before they actually start playing, which is a bad habit because you can't do that against good teams because good teams are not going to allow you to come back into the game. When you play a team that is not like, in terms of quality, is at the same level or is a bit inferior to you, you can afford to give them a 2-0 lead or a 1-0 lead because they can, like, you can get back into the game because you have better players than them. But if you're playing a good team that is on par or that is slightly better than you in terms of the quality, you cannot afford to give them a head start because if you do that, they're simply not going to allow you to get back into the game. So Spurs need to cut that out of their game if they are serious about making that top four. Otherwise, like, they're gonna find it very difficult to get results if they keep giving teams a head start. It's gonna be very difficult for them to actually oh my flip. I think I posted something on Instagram and my headphones were connected, but I didn't have them on. So I'm not sure if it actually had sound. I actually checked that out. Now some people might be thinking I'm a fool here because I'm just waffling. But okay, it doesn't matter. But basically I'm saying, like, Tottenham need to cut this thing off, letting giving the opposition a head start before actually starting to play. So it's gonna be an interesting game between them and Villa. And Villa have picked up their form under Unai Emery. Obviously, we haven't seen much of them because Unai Emery only came on the 1st of November, and around the 12th, 13th, we were off to the World Cup. So it's not like it's not been easy to kind of like get hang of what they are doing under Unai Emery, even though they had a very good result against Man United in their opening game, in their first game under Unai Emery, at Villa Park. So it's gonna be an interesting game. I'll make Spurs slight favorites because they are playing at home, but I think Aston Villa are more than capable of beating Tottenham because Tottenham have this bad habit of basically only starting to play after falling behind to the opposition. I think Aston Villa could capitalize on that, and they could do a job on them. So I think in terms of the players that are going to be available, I'm not sure if Christian Romero is available for Spurs. Obviously, Christian Romero is part of the team, of the Argentina team that won the World Cup. So I'm not sure if he is going to be available. But for Aston Villa, I think they pretty much have all their players fit. I don't think they had many players going to the World Cup, and yeah, I think they pretty much have all their players fit. Um, and no, uh, oh, for Tottenham, I think Rodrigo Bentancur is injured. Obviously Bentancur has been one of Spurs' best players this season, but he is injured. And then obviously Kane has 13 goals in 16 games this season, and he's only second to Haaland. Obviously Haaland has 20 goals, so which is a bit absurd to be honest. Yeah, and then Højbjerg has 4 goals this season in 15 league appearances. A good return for him. And um, yeah, that kind of tells you some key players in the game. Højbjerg, Kulusevski is also the highest assist maker for Spurs this season with 6 in his 10 games in the Premier League. Yeah, and then let's get. I actually need to find a website that gives reliable stats, man, because this stuff is just not good enough. I will look for a website, guys, so that I don't keep looking down here and just not talking. Um, and then okay. Yeah. So yeah, Rodrigo Bentancur is injured with a thigh injury. Richarlison and Lucas Moura are also injured. And then Christian Romero is fit to return. Okay. So Christian Romero is in contention to start this game against Aston Villa. And then Emi Martinez, so the goalkeeper for Argentina, is back with Aston Villa as well, so he probably will start for Aston Villa. And then Jacob Ramsey is injured, and Diego Carlos is a long term absentee. I think he has a torn ACL. Jacob Ramsey, I think, has a hamstring injury. I really like Jacob Ramsey. I think he's a good player, but he's currently injured. He's not going to play in this game. And then okay, yeah, man. I think I'm slightly gonna edge Spurs for this game, because they're playing at home. But I would not be surprised if Aston Villa got a draw or got a win, because Spurs have this bad habit of not starting games well. So I predict that Spurs are gonna win 2-1. But I'm not going to be surprised if Aston Villa win, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because I think Aston Villa are more than capable of causing Spurs problems. Because Spurs defensively are not good enough. And they keep conceding cheap goals. And also, they have this habit of not playing. Son hasn't been good enough this season. And yeah, so I don't know. Like, I'm gonna edge them for a 2-1 victory, but I'm not going to be surprised if that's wrong, if I'm being honest. And yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Please, guys, continue to subscribe to the channel, and please continue to push the thumbs up button to like the videos, and please push the notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. And yeah, guys, man, I really appreciate your guys' support. And appreciate you guys watching the videos. Please continue to support the channel. And yeah, guys, have a great new year. Have a wonderful new year, and I wish you all the best for your new year, for your New Year's resolutions. And yeah, man. Yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate your support. I'll see you in the next one.